Tyson versus Paul, man. Give me y'all's rundown. I guess Damian wants to go last. I'll tell you what I think first, just a couple seconds of it. And that's just the fact that, again, it for me, it's Mike Tyson, man. And I don't care where Mike Tyson went in his career, and he had all his weaknesses. Pressure was hard on Mike. He couldn't handle pressure in the ring. Obviously, that was, in my opinion, his weak spot. But that doesn't take away from the fact of what he did, where he came from, and everything else, and the respect I have for him. I hate to see him fighting at this age. I mean, I was tripping when Foreman was fighting at 40-something years old, even though he won a title against a guy who trained at our gym, Michael Moore. And Foreman was from Texas and Houston also, so I, loved him and met him a couple times as well. Almost 60 years old, or at 60 years old, man. Mike, he doesn't need to do it. I just hate to see it. It's almost like a circus show. Tell me what you think, Jay. Tell me what's up, bro. What do you think?
I'm glad you mentioned George Foreman, because I want to say that Mike Tyson is going to be almost 20 years older than George Foreman was when he came back, and that is something to think about right there. Like,
it's nuts.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I hate it. Hey, if Mike wants to do it, hey, man, who am I to tell somebody not to chase their dreams? I just have a hard time believing that this is in his dreams. Now, he might need the cash, and if he does, I hope he gets it all. If I'm Jake Paul, though, I've got one boxing bout against Tommy Fury that I lost. I don't hear him asking for the rematch with Tommy Fury. He's making a career out of fighting former UFC guys, which is fine if that's what he wants to do. I didn't think he looked remarkable against Nate Diaz. I didn't think he looked remarkable against Perry. I thought he looked good. Perry's a 155-pound brawler. He's not a polished boxer. No disrespect to Mike Perry, big fan. But I think he's got to decide what he wants to do. I think if he wants to fight former MMA guys, which he's made a career doing, then he should go fight MMA. Like, why are you boxing him? It just doesn't make sense to me. But hey, I wish him all the best. I hope he makes $100 million, $100 billion, whatever he does. But I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I think that he should go fight MMA. He's got a wrestling background. I think he and his brother both wrestled in high school. No problem. Let's go see what you got. If he wants to box, though, I think he should fight boxers. But hey, it makes for a good spectacle. I'll watch all the highlights. I won't buy the pay-per-views, but I'll watch the highlights.
Same here, bro.
when they come out. But again, I'm not a. It's the internet age. I hate to say it. It's a different age than us three grew up in. Spectacle sells. Pride. I hate to say it. Like, Pride Championship was some of my favorite events was Pride Fighting Championship events, and they were nothing but freak shows. No drug testing. Professional wrestlers were fighting, or shoot fighters were fighting MMA guys. Like, I watched them all, and I loved them. So, it's not lost on me that it's a spectacle and a freak show. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me, being somebody who I would consider a combat sports aficionado, maybe, or at the very least a fan of all combat sports. It doesn't make sense why he won't fight any more boxers. He had the one fight with Tommy, and didn't go his way. So I don't know. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
All right. What you think, Damian?
Oh, this is gonna take a little bit of time, but so obviously, I love Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is probably single-handedly one of the reasons why I got into boxing as a kid. Me and my friends in New York used to get together, 30 of us, and watch Mike Tyson walk to the ring and watch Mike Tyson decimate people. Iron Mike Tyson. With that being said, though,
Kid Dynamite, baby. Kid Dynamite.
Yeah.
Hey, just real quick, Damien, let me add this. Huge Tyson fan. In fact, in my office, I got a 16x20 that Mike signed for me. I don't know if I ever told you this story, Mike. He tried to take the 16x20 because it's a pick he had never seen before. He's backstage.
Wow. Oh, man.
Backstage, you see his jack neck, and he literally tried to take the picture. I had to promise to send his manager a copy of the picture, or else he's going to take that 16x20 off of me. Anyway, so huge fan.
So, and Mike Tyson's near and dear to my heart for a lot of reasons. I love his story. I mean, I do. I think, he has a really, there's a lot of tragedy and heartbreak in Mike Tyson's story. I mean, he literally came from nothing. Brownsville, Brooklyn was one of the worst, if not the worst, neighborhoods in America back in those days when he was coming up. And I think that to become the youngest heavyweight champion ever in the history, and the way he did it by absolutely decimating everyone he stood across from, says something about the man that he is. But I think that we're not going to see Iron Mike Tyson. We're seeing an old guy that, in my opinion, and I love Mike Tyson. I don't even want to talk bad about him because I know that he's going to do better than I would do against Jake Paul. That's for damn sure. But what I will say is this: I think that you said something great, Mike. What you said was true. Mike Tyson doesn't handle pressure well. I think as of late, especially, I think he doesn't really handle the pressure well. I think that he's mentally, I don't think he's the same guy that he was when he was in his 20s. So I think that the bright lights and the big show and the pressure of beating a young kid in Jake Paul is just going to be too much for him. I think that Mike Tyson's going to be good for the first maybe 3 to 4 rounds. And if he can get the job done in the first 3 to 4 rounds, then I think he has a chance to win. I think one thing that he's got going for him is that he's going to be one of the hardest punchers that Jake's ever faced. And to touch on what you were saying is also about the whole not fighting boxers things. I mean, he's handpicked every one of his opponents. Anderson Silva, past his prime. Love him. Love Anderson Silva. Nate Diaz. I think that Nate Diaz has taken too much damage over his career. I love Nate Diaz, but I think that he's at the end of his career. I think that Nate Diaz is a legend of the sport. I love Nate Diaz. Like, I think he's a gangster through and through. Like, he'll fight anybody. But I mean, everybody has a time, and when your time is up in this sport, it's time to hang up the gloves and don't let your ego dictate, your time when it's time. Mike Perry, another guy that he fought. Mike Perry is an absolute beast in bare knuckle, but he has absolutely no head movement. Yeah. I mean, he didn't move his head at all against Jake Paul, and he stood in front of him, and he thought that he was going to be able to eat Jake Paul's punches, and he learned the hard way that he couldn't eat Jake Paul's punches. So with that said, I think that it's kind of disgraceful, actually, because I think Jake Paul is taking advantage of Mike Tyson. And I wish that Mike Tyson didn't need the money, because I think that this is a money grab, and it's kind of sad that a legend of the sport needs money that bad where he's going to risk serious injury. Because, I mean, let's be honest, man, if anyone that's older gets hit by a guy like Jake Paul, because Jake Paul can punch, he can punch. And I just think it's not something that I really want to see, to be honest.
I've seen the videos, Damien, where Mike's having a hard time even moving around. But then you'll see a clip of he and Rafael Cordero, and he's moving like, him 40 years ago.
I think he suffers from sciatic nerve pain and damage a lot.
Mike,
and
like
he's on a cane sometime, and he can't even walk. Yeah. No, I agree. And any predictions, bro? Do either one of y'all have a prediction on it of what you think will happen?
I don't know if the fight's going to – go ahead, Damien. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go first. Go ahead, buddy.
I don't know that it's going to happen. I'm not convinced the fight's going to happen.
I'm kind of like that
convinced. Too, bro. I hope it doesn't. But what I do hope is if it does, that Mike doesn't get seriously injured. I hope he wins. And he might.
I'd love to see Mike win. I'd love to see Mike just like, not that I hate that dude. I don't know that guy. They got nothing.
Everybody wants Mike Tyson to win. It's
Mike. He's a 60-year-old guy coming in here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can I not want him to win? You know what I'm saying? Plus, he's Mike Tyson. What you think, Damien?
I think that Mike Tyson's going to lose and he's going to get knocked out. That's my.
I hate it, bro.
And I hate to even say that, man, but I have to be realistic. I think, like I said, Mike's going to be good for about 3 to 4 rounds. I think he's going to be good for 3 to 4 rounds. I honestly believe in my heart that Jake Paul is going to be bigger than Mike Tyson when he gets in the ring.
Mike
So
Tyson was always smaller for heavyweight. Yeah.
Not that big though. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if Mike's in shape, he's not going to be bigger, I don't think. And
that's going to play a part. That's going to play a part because Jake's going to be the bigger, stronger man, and he's younger. You can't beat Father Time. And at the end of the day, it goes back to what I said before. We love Iron Mike Tyson. He's not Iron Mike Tyson anymore. He's a 50, I don't even know how old he is.
I think he's almost 60 if he's not 60.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just kind of disgraceful to me. I don't.
If Tyson wins, it'll be in the first 3 rounds, bro.
I want Tyson to win. I want him.
It'll be in the first 3 rounds, and it'll be if Paul can. First of all, if he's actually fighting, you'll be able to tell fast. If Mike's actually fighting or if he's just there to survive, or you know what I mean, you'll know fast. And if Tyson wins, it's going to be in the first 3 rounds or so, and he would probably stop him with a serious onslaught because he's still got that. I don't care how old you are, you can still swing for a couple rounds or so.
I'm sure that Jake has no training partners to simulate Mike Tyson. That's what I'm sure of. We just don't know which Mike Tyson is going to show up, but he has no training partners going to cut the angles. No training partner is going to get inside and bully you. They've done it their whole life, but he's got nobody who can do that. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
But you don't know which Mike Tyson is going to show up.
Man, it's interesting.
I would love to see Mike Tyson knock him out.
Me too.
I really would. But I mean, I don't see it happening. You know, I just don't see it happening.
Man, we're going to have to do fellas, we're going to have to do a show after and talk about if it happens, and we'll see what's up.